how food affects your mental health. We're going to get into that. I'm going to share with you some do's and some don'ts. This video is for you if you are a woman over 40. I talk or I speak to women over 40. However, if you're listening and you are a man, or this video is going to be applicable for most folks, but my primary conversations are to women over 40. Do you wonder what you can do nutritionally? I'm going to share with you what you can do nutritionally and then some other things outside of nutrition that can strengthen your mental health, and then share with you some of the things you may not even be aware of that's taking away from your mental health. I am Robin-Nutritionist for 16 years. This has been my jam, and I help women over 40 get their nutrition in order, also helping women over 40 manage this menopause, perimenopause situation with ease. All right, let's get into it. I want to talk about the relationship between your gut and your brain and how that works together. So, your gut is sending messages to your brain based on what's going on in your gut. So, people that have a high instances of bad bacteria in their gut, there's a correlation between depression. So people that are depressed have more bad bacteria in their gut. So inside of your gut, always, there's going to be good bacteria and bad bacteria. There's an army, and they're always fighting. And the one that has the most is going to win. So think of it as an army. You have an army of good bacteria and an army of bad bacteria. And you're always going to have bad bacteria in your gut, no matter what you do. There's going to be some. But what you want is your army of good bacteria to be larger than the army of the bad bacteria, so that they can quell them or keep them quiet or mitigate their takeover. Okay, so there's an army in there fighting at all times. I'm going to share with you what to do to support the good army. There's 5 things in particular that you must know. So I'm going to make sure that I tell you that. So make sure you get to the whole video so that you get this information. So the good army and the bad army. And when the bad army takes over, it's going, even actually, if the good army is taking over, it's going to send the positive signals to your brain. But if the bad army is taking over, then it's going to send adverse signals to your brain, and it's going to chemically alter what is happening. So there we see higher instances of depression and other mental challenges or disorders. Okay, so bad bacteria, good bacteria. And a lot of people don't know what you eat affects what's happening in your brain and how you feel in your mood. It's crazy, you guys. It is crazy. So let's get into what is taking away from your good bacteria and giving signals to your brain that you don't necessarily want to get it. And then I'm going to share with you what to do, how to feed your good army. Okay, so this goes without saying. I'm going to say it, but the food. So whenever we're eating a lot of sugar, a lot of boxed processed foods, red meats, it's feeding our bad bacteria. So whenever you have a whole bunch of sugar and pies and you're in fast food, you're going to feed your bad bacteria. Good. That's just the truth. You're going to feed it. Now, how much they grow is here nor I don't know personally, but I know you're feeding it. Whenever you're eating adversity, it's going to give that bad bacteria army ammunition. All right. Also, you may not be aware of this, but medications or medications that you take perhaps that are feeding the bad bacteria. And one of them being like antibiotics is huge when it comes to feeding your bad bacteria. So if you're ever needing antibiotics, just know that, and I'll talk about that. I'm going to make sure I address that. Just know that you are feeding the army, the bad bacteria, which is sending signals to your brain. Also, whenever we are stressed and anxious, and right now in this world where all the things are going on, it's very difficult not to feel a sense of stress and angst. It stresses me out to do these videos. I don't know why I've been doing this for so long. Every time I have to do a video, I digress. I feel stress and angst. And then I have to make sure I tell you guys, like, subscribe, share, comment, like every time, right? In these YouTube streets, I have to make sure I say that. So every time we have stress and anxiety, we are feeding the bad bacteria. And hold on, y'all gotta hear to the end so that you know what to do to feed the good army, because we just want to strengthen the good guys. So I said medication, stress and anxiety, and then poor sleep. So when you're not getting a good night's sleep and your sleep is interrupted, it is feeding the bad guys. So we want to always feed the good ones more. All right, so here's what we have to do to feed the good ones. So the nutrition side, we're eating our fruits and vegetables, green leafies. So that is the positive side. You also want to eat what's called prebiotic foods. And prebiotic foods are fiber rich. So they're giving the good army ammunition. Also, prebiotic foods include onions, garlic, apples, bananas, right? So we're giving our body prebiotic foods, and that good army is like, yes, yes, let's go. We're feeding them, right? Every day that you put something in your mouth, you want to make sure that you're giving it prebiotics. So that's fiber rich foods. Then you hear about probiotics, right? So that's also helping the good bacteria thrive, but the prebiotics is fiber rich and the probiotics is not related to fiber. So probiotic foods include kombucha, yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, fermented foods give that good bacteria the probiotics that it needs. Also, then, unrelated to food, but sleep and exercise also feed the army. So all of this is talking to your army in your gut and sending either positive or negative signals. And I mentioned before, those that have a higher instance of depression have more bad bacteria. So we want to be strategic and feed the good guys. So when it comes to the foods, the more produce you eat, the better, right? So even if you had fast food, if you're having more produce, more life-giving food, it's going to feed the bacteria that you want, which is the good army. People ask the question, what about probiotic supplements? So I will say this, if you are taking an antibiotic, then you do want to go and get a probiotic and take that for a certain amount of time, take it through to offset, because it goes, the antibiotics go in and they just destroy. So you want to populate that. So with intention, if you're taking a antibiotic, then yes, you would want to take a probiotic supplement. With regards to probiotic supplements, so I personally do not take them, which has nothing to do with you, but I do not take them. But you may realize that you are doing a lot of things that are feeding the bad guys, and you may consider taking a probiotic supplement. So here's what I can't do. I cannot recommend a specific one or even that they're effective. And if you follow me, I'm only going to recommend things, and this is just who I be. Like, I could put stuff in the down bar or the show notes or whatever they call it, just because I can link something to an Amazon store. I ain't gonna link nothing to nowhere if I don't wholeheartedly believe that. Okay, so just know that about me. I ain't gonna tell you to buy something just because I can. All right. So because I don't have a specific recommendation, I cannot make one. So you will not hear me tell you to get a probiotic supplement or which one to get, because there's so many and they do so many different things. And if you want me to do a video on that, let me know and I will. But I would say food first, but I would say if you're taking an antibiotic, then you do want to go get a probiotic. And again, there's different strains and all the potencies and all that, which I'm not going to get into in this video. But I'm not making any recommendations. I'm just telling you that if you know perhaps that you're not doing all the right things, then maybe you would think about supplementing. However, I do not have a recommendation because there's so many, and that's a whole conversation in itself. And I'll perhaps do a video on that if you want me to, and we can get into the different types and all that. Because supplements are not regulated, and just because something is on the label, and there's a lot going on with that. So I defer from making any recommendations. But what I want you to know is that you want to keep that good bacteria happy and the army fighting so that it can overtake the bad bacteria, so that your mental health, because that's what this was about, is on a positive spin. We know life be lifing, and there's so much going on. And even eating the best, we still got stuff going on. This is like a crazy time. So do your part in giving your body the armor that it needs to fight the fight that we need to fight with our brain. All right. So with that being said, I have to say this again: like, subscribe, share if this video made sense to you, tell a friend. And what else do I want to say? If, so I'm always going to put something in the down bar so that you can check that out and we can stay connected. But if I learned this, if you love this video and you just want to say thank you, you can buy me a cup of tea. You can buy me a cup of tea in the down bar below, and I will appreciate that, and I will thank you for doing that. Herbal tea is what I like. I like red clover because that helps with women's health, but you can get me a cup of tea down below. It'll say buy me coffee, but I drink tea, so you can do that. So I will drink the cup on your behalf. That's all I want to say about that. There's a fly on my head. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. This is Robin-Nutritionist, Necessary Nutrition. And leave me a comment. Let me know if this was useful for you and some of the other topics that you want to hear. All right. Peace and blessings. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.